How's it going, everybody? Innuendoes here, and today I'll be commentating my 15-1 game of Search and Destroy for Modern Warfare 3. In today's video, I figured I'd give you guys some tips and advice on becoming a better Search and Destroy player. Recently I've had some people tell me that I should do this, so I figured, why not? Let's give it a shot. Alright. Now, the first piece of advice I'd have to give you guys is probably the most important one that I'm going to give you. And what that is when you play Search and Destroy, you need to have a, I guess you can say, certain state of mind. And what I mean by that is you have to stay calm and relaxed, because Search and Destroy tends to make you anxious and nervous. So try to find a nice comfort level to play on, but don't get too comfortable, because when you get too comfortable you just kind of slack off. So you need to find a nice comfort level with a nice level of awareness also. And also something that sort of goes along with what I just said is never underestimate your enemies, and try not to get overly cocky as well, because a lot of times that could eventually come back and bite you in the ass. Alright, now that we've talked about the more mental aspect of Search and Destroy, let's start talking about the objective itself a little more. Alright, as you guys know, Search and Destroy is 2 teams of 6. One team's offense, the other's defense. The offense has to plant a bomb at one of the 2 objective sites, while the defense has to keep them away from that. And after 3 rounds, the 2 teams switch sides, so the offense goes defense and defense goes offense. And a lot of people don't play the objective correctly or smartly. Let me give you an example. Let's say I have a team and one of my teammates takes the bomb, and let's say the enemy team that is on defense at the time are all just camping this bomb. They could, care less about defending the bomb sites, and my teammate that has a bomb just rushes into the enemy spawn and dies with the bomb out there. If the enemy team is just camping the spawn like that, just take the bomb to one of the bomb sites and plant it. That way they have to come to you now. And I hear a lot of people complain, people are saying, why are you camping in the spawn? Get out of the spawn and play. Well, if you think about it, you really shouldn't be in the enemy spawn in the first place. You're supposed to just go and plant the bomb as soon as you can. And if you're on defense, that doesn't necessarily mean you can just camp the spawn and wait for the attackers to come in. Like they say, sometimes the best defense is a good offense. So play the objective more correctly and smartly, and you should definitely get some better results out of it. Another thing you need to take into consideration also is you really need to be aware at all times, especially in Search, because you're only given 1 life and you have to make the most out of it. So what I normally do is, if I go running into a building, I make sure every single corner is clear before I move on, because people like to camp in any corner imaginable. And also, you really, really, really need to check your back often. And something that can kind of help you, be more alert, is to plan a little bit higher of a sensitivity. I recommend at least 7. I personally play on 10, but it's not mandatory to play on a higher sensitivity, but it definitely helps out a lot more. So now that you're in a more relaxed state playing Search and you're playing the objective a little more smartly, there's one thing that could either make you or break you, and that is the infamous clutch. And if you don't know what a clutch is, basically what it is that you're the last person left alive on your team. And normally I consider it a clutch when there's at least maybe 2 or 3 people left on the other team. So that means you really have to put your skills to the test, being able to kill off the rest of the enemy team by yourself. If you find yourself in that clutch situation, the one thing you probably really don't want to do is you just try and, camp in a corner somewhere. Because say if one of the enemies runs past you and you end up killing him, well, the other enemies on the team are going to know you're back there, because they could probably either hear your gunfire, or they'll be able to see the little marker where their teammate died. So most of the time all the enemies are going to be rushing into that spot trying to find you. So what you want to do is try and get out of that area as soon as you can, and try and stay on the move a little more, that way the enemies can't really find you as well. Before the video's over, there's only really 2 other things I want to talk to you guys about, and that's just surrounding yourself with better teammates. You tend to play better if you're with better people. That way you try to, elevate your game a little more. And another way to get better at the game is just to practice. I mean, practice makes perfect, so that's one of those surefire ways to get better at the game. Alright, let's have a real quick recap of what we've talked about. Alright, so you want to have a good state of mind when you play Search and Destroy. Don't be a dumbass. Play the objective correctly. Don't underestimate your opponents or try and be overly cocky. Try and be aware at all times. In clutch situations, don't do anything stupid. Try and mix up your positions a little bit. Practice more and find some better teammates. Anyway, got my nice little 2-piece right there for the game winner. Too bad that little asshole left the game so we couldn't see the kill cam. But hope you guys liked the video and thought it was informative. I'll see you guys later.